So it's 12:30 in the morning here in my apartment in Philadelphia. And this is attempt 5 at trying to figure out how to do this review. Just because I think this hit me on such an emotional level and it means so much to me that somehow I'm petrified of sharing my thoughts on it, just because it did hit at such a vulnerable place. So instead of this being a beat by beat, here's my thoughts on what this show was, I think more than anything, what I need right now and what I want to do with this video is just talk to you about what happened in the movie Tick, Tick, Boom and why it's got me like this. Again, in another video down the road, we'll go more into here's the history behind it. Here's what I thought of Lynn as a director, which I mean, we'll get into a little bit in this one. But I think what really stood out to me the most about this is that it's just a film that finally got us. You know? It was there's a train outside. And that kind of ties into how they depicted Tick, Tick, Boom, which is so often with Broadway and with all of these shows, we see this even with videos on this channel. You see these fancy end products that look so polished and so primed and proper. But what you're not seeing is everything that's going on behind the scenes. You're not seeing those endless nights where you're pacing around your apartment going, oh my God, is this going to work? Is anyone going to watch this? Is this good? Whatever the hell that means, is this good? You don't see the messy sides of theater. And I think that's true with how they've done it in movie musicals as well, pertaining to the arts. I think of The Greatest Showman, where everyone comes out and they're just, they have moments where it's like sad, but for the most part, it's like, look, we're in the circus. This is fantastic. And I think that's what I just really appreciated about Tick, Tick, Boom, is that it shows the messy side of art. And when I walked out, I just kept thinking, like, why do we do it? You know? I remember in school, they always told us time and time again that an actor or anyone in the arts is going to deal with more rejection in a year than most people deal with in a lifetime. And that's pretty daunting, and it can really take a toll on somebody. So why do we keep doing it? Why do we keep practicing our monologues? Why do we keep sacrificing hours and hours on end to go to rehearsal, or to write music, or to stare at a computer screen as the cursor just blinks at us, only to share it with people and then they say, oh, well, that's nice. You doing anything serious? It's crazy. And it's something that I found myself questioning a lot, especially just this past year, of why am I doing this still? And I'm sure that you've felt that too. If you haven't, and if somehow you got involved in the arts and everybody loves you and you've gotten everything that you've asked for, tell me how, because that would be fantastic. But there was a line that they said in the film, and I don't think this is going to be a major spoiler, but it's just the question of what happens after you finish whatever it is that you're working on and you share it to the world. You move on to the next one. And that really resonated with me because, I mean, here I am. I just finished this huge documentary on Rebecca, and now already it's thinking, okay, what's next? Where do we go from here? So why do we do that? It's the question that I just keep coming back to of why do we keep doing this? Why do we keep going in this cycle of making things and sharing them with the hopes that something sticks? And I think the reason that I've come to the conclusion of, especially after this year, which if you follow me on Twitter or if you're on the Patreon and you're on the Discord, you know that this has been something that I've been dealing with a lot this year. For those of you who don't know, I was working a marketing position at a job, which, I mean, it was great. I had healthcare, I had benefits, but while I was secure, I wasn't happy because sure, like we were bringing in so many odd numbers of figures of success. We were doing great stuff. And yet in that success, I found myself sitting at my desk going, oh my God, I hate it here. And the reason is it felt like I wasn't doing something worthwhile or something important or something that was going to last. And I think that, again, I'm not going to speak for you because we all have these different experiences. But for me personally, that's what it was. It was that I didn't feel like I was doing anything important. Great. I got this person to click a button on an email and then spend money. Whoop-de-doo. And I would come home at nights, and this is just the side that you never really see. I would come home at night and just question everything that I was doing. It was a thing of, like, sure, I really love making the videos, but I'm so exhausted from everything that's going on at work. So great, I'm secure, but also I'm miserable. And yet the funniest thing that happened is after I decided, you know, really, is any job secure? If we've learned anything, it's that something can be taken away from you in the blink of an eye and that nothing is certain. So why am I wasting time behind this desk? And that's when I left. And it was when I left and when I dove into doing what it is that I love that I started to feel happy again. And like I was doing something worthwhile and something important. And I think that's something that really gets driven home in Tick, Tick, Boom. Whether it's Jonathan Larson or some other person, either way, you can identify with that struggle, that constant conflict of, is what I'm doing really important? Is it going to matter? Why do I keep doing this? It's because we love it. And we know that what we're doing is important. And I think this is just something that I really want to hammer home for you. Because I know what it's like to feel that immense doubt and that whatever you're making, no one's going to care. I want you to know that people are going to care with whatever you're making or whatever you're pursuing or whatever you're doing. People will care. Even if it's not these huge arenas full of people screaming your name, if it's just one person rooting you on, that is one person who is invested in what you're making. And that that's enough. Even if it's just you who's invested in what it is that you're making, that is enough. Because without people making things, we're all just stuck behind our desks. So I applaud Tick Tick Boom for finally showing that on film and finally expressing that and showing the ugly side of the arts. And above all else, I just love having a film that finally gets it and that wasn't afraid to talk to us as theater kids. Because we all know how it is. In musicals, for some reason, they try to shy away from the musical aspect or the Broadway aspect of it to appeal to a wider audience. And what Lin does masterfully here is he knows who he's talking to. And instead of running away from that, he doubles down on it and creates basically like the MCU of musicals. There's one scene in here where it's Easter egg after Easter egg, not even Easter egg, it's just right in your face. And I just found myself sitting there thinking how refreshing that we can finally embrace this. And it really just comes down to Lin and his creative direction with it. It was nice to have a film made by someone who just, you can tell he's passionate about theater and that it's something that he genuinely loves. And through him sharing that genuine love on screen, for me personally, it resonated. And it just felt nice to finally be acknowledged for this really niche thing. But we'll go more into depth coming up soon. I just really wanted to get this out here now because who knows? I'll go to bed, I'll go to work, and then I won't feel as passionate as I do now. But I really just want to hammer that home. If you feel like you're doing something wrong or like you're not making progress on something as fast as you should be, just remember that good things take time. And one of the main themes in Tick Tick Boom is how we feel like we need to have made something of ourselves by 30. It's just, as cliche as it sounds, it's just a number. And it's something really that I need to take to heart too, because, you know, I hear that clock going too. If I haven't made something of myself by 30, then it's... But I mean, either way, 30's going to come. We can't stop it. I think instead of dreading what's to come, we should instead just look at everything we've got right now and just roll with the punches. But yeah, not the most conventional review. More of a let me get this off my chest type of thing. But just keep doing what you're doing. I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm so happy that I have someone that I can talk to about this. You're spectacular. What you're doing matters. Share what you're working on with me in the comments below or on Twitter. Remember to live truthfully in those imaginary circumstances, and Chester sends his love.